Okay, today we're gonna install the Geiser inner clutch cover liner for the Can-Am X3s. It's come pre-fit, very close to the cover already. All the hardware is included, stainless hardware. So when you install it, you're gonna wanna make sure you use some type of assembly lube or anti-seize so that the bolt doesn't bind on the nut. We got all our required tools set up. You're gonna need a drill with a 3/16 drill bit to drill the holes, a 3/8 socket or wrench to tighten the nut, an 1/8" Allen to tighten the bolt, and a variety of clamps here. I got some small clamps to hold the liner to the housing, and then I have some bigger clamps here just to pull any slop out so that it's snug against the back of the housing. So what we're gonna do first is take the wider of the two pieces and line up this hole to the one in the housing. So once we have this hole lined up in a very good area, just take a couple of clamps and clamp the liner to the outside of your housing. Might have to shift it around a little bit to get the hole even. And just make sure that it's all below the lip of your housing. It should all be inset. So before we start drilling holes on anything, we're gonna take our second piece and we're gonna set this down inside and make sure that everything is gonna be snug. The two faces joining each other should be a tight fit. You shouldn't have to do any trimming. Everything should fit in properly. Like so. It's a nice snug fit. So it might take a little bit of moving and pushing, but they will fit very tight joint right there. So now we got both of them pretty well marked out where they should be. So I'm gonna start drilling the holes for the background. Just gonna recheck before I go and make any holes in the cover. Okay, so we got a pretty good gap around the hole in the cover to the liner. It's nice and smooth. There's no edges grabbing anywhere. The liner is inset inside of the housing. So I'm gonna take one of these bigger clamps and I'm gonna put it in the back here just to pull it tight before I start drilling so that I'm certain the housing is not going to move. And start with a 3/16 drill bit is going to drill the hole. I'm going to start down here at the joining face and just start with all the holes. I'm just going to do one at a time to make sure that the housing doesn't move. Don't need a lot of assembly lube. This side is all installed. The bolts are snugged up. It's all inside the cover. The hole's flush. We're gonna take our second piece and we're gonna put it inside the cover and line it up with this mating face here. And I'm gonna take one of the bigger clamps just to ensure that the liner doesn't move around on me while I work my way through it. I'm gonna clamp it half on this one and half on the other one. And I'm just gonna work my way around inside with some of these smaller clamps. Just like that. The liner's all inside of the clutch the housing. The joining faces are a very tight, close gap to each other. And we can start drilling pilot holes to install the hardware. Again, I'm going to start at the mounting face. applying assembly lube to every bolt installed. Okay, so I got the front and the back, both pieces in and snugged up around the outside of the housing. I went through and I just snugged my bolts up when I drilled the holes, and after I made sure everything was where it needed to be, my gaps are all good, everything's straight, it's below the outer edge of the cover. I went through and I tightened everything. The torque rating for these are only 33 inch-pounds, so don't over tighten them. It's as simple as that. Put it on the car, and hopefully you don't have any more problems.